Hi, my name is Eric Campos.
My name is Esteban Science.
My name is Luis Bolivar.
My name is Leslie Acosta.
This will be the debate about the origins of COVID 19. I am going to talk about my theory. This theory is about Bill Gates being related to the development and the release of the virus COVID 19. This theory also talks about Chinese researchers modifying and experimenting with the virus of SARS and making trials with animals, which can be later on passed to humans.
My theory says that coronavirus is a biological weapon developed by the Wuhan Institute of Virology. This is because of the fact that people claim that the Wuhan Institute of Virology is affiliated with Beijing's covered bioweapons program.
My theory is about that China created this virus in order to be the country with the best economy in the world.
This theory is related to the wet markets in China, where the animals are locked in cages, having bad hygiene, because they live among their waste.
Leslie, in your theory, how did COVID 19 started in the wet markets?
Okay, the margin of COVID-19 explains that the virus was passed from two animals to a human. And to can be a lethal virus, it has to travel through many animals, like the Ebola virus that came from a bat, and the HIV that is from a chimpanzee. All these viruses are from animals. They are not supposed to reach us, but the activity in the wet markets, they are sustainable for us to get infected.
Eric, I have a question for you. How is Bill Gates associated with everything about the coronavirus?
In 2020, the accounts of Bill Gates and the Wuhan Institute of Technology was hacked, and a lot of emails had been leaked in internet that this could be made by Bill Gates and Dr. Zheng Shi.
Luis, I would like to know more about your theory.
Okay, my theory is all about that this virus affects the economy, affects the global economy, and that meant that all big companies will lower their value, and China will take advantage of that and by all of these companies, and that will make them the biggest country with a better economy.
Bolivar, do you have any facts that can support this theory?
Yes, the GDP, that is the gross domestic product of every country, it will lose in every country. It will be a loss of 2.4% that will allow China to buy big companies.
Esteban, I would like to know more about your theory.
Well, my theory talks about the coronavirus being a bioweapon, and some facts I have to support this is that there was an interview with a doctor called Danny Shoham, an Israeli expert who spoke to the Washington Times this 2020 and said, and I quote, certain laboratories in the institute, that being the Institute of Virology, have probably been engaged in terms of research and development in Chinese biological weapons, at least collaterally, yet not as a principal facility of the Chinese bioweapons alignment. This can show that some institutions of this Institute of Virology could be affiliated with the covert bioweapons program of China.
So this is a bioweapon to attack United States?
It was basically it's a bioweapon being developed by China, but it's supposed to be mostly an accident that could have happened of like a leakage of the virus to the outside world from the institute. Danny Shoham said the following about that same topic. In principle, outward virus infiltration might take place either as leakage or as an indoor unnoticed infection of a person that normally went out of the concerned facility. So basically, it is a bioweapon that was leaked outside the Institute of Virology of Wuhan.
Okay, Esteban, I have a question for you. And is why, if the Chinese governments knew that this virus could affect its citizens and its economy, it still opted to create the virus?
Well, biological weapons are not somewhat of a myth. Other countries may even be developing biological weapons undercover in their own programs, but it's merely for defense in case there was like the myth of a biological war. But it was mostly a mistake that the virus had been leaked out of the institute. It was not an intentional thing, and actually, Wuhan, the city of China, is one of the most affected in the world. So I don't think this was on purpose. I think it was a leak of a bioweapon.
Eric, I want to know a little bit more about your theory.
So, Bill Gates, the CEO of Microsoft, said in one TED Talk, if anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. In this same year, the RAI, a very renowned TV program from Italy, gives the news that Chinese investigators created a virus which affects the respiratory system in mice and bats. SARS is a contagious and occasionally fatal respiratory disease caused by coronavirus. Scientists leading this investigation confirm that the virus can be trespassed into humans. Luis, I think your theory is fake because the COVID-19 was made in a lab. This was not meant to be made on purpose.
And how are you sure that the COVID-19 was created in a lab?
It is proven that the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where the virus originally leaked from, is part of the biological weapons program of China. So it may be a biological weapon that escaped. And also, it has been registered in the Wuhan Institute of Virology from 2016. So it was previously created already.
Uh, Also, the Raid TV program said that Chinese investigators was oh damn. Also, no, sorry, the Raid TV program. Uh, the Raid TV program.
Dale, Eric.
The Raid TV program states that there were Chinese investigators researching this virus in 2015.
But how can you confirm that it is not a biological weapon?
My theory does not state that COVID-19 is a biological weapon, but it was made with the intention. It was made with the intention for do harm.
Jackie, how does the market affect the spread of coronavirus?
This is a satanic virus. This means that the virus came from animals, and to can be in a human, this virus had to travel of one animal to another. So the people can come, choose the animal they want, and kill the animal in front of the consumer. So talking about hygiene and sanitation is not very good to say because they are living among their waste and with thousands of bacteria. This is where the SARS virus originate.
Luis, how can you prove that China wants to buy all the companies that which price go down with this coronavirus pandemic?
I can't answer this question.
Esteban, do you think that COVID-19 was meant to harm to people and the economics of other countries?
I believe it is, but it was not meant to be leaked at this time. I believe it was just a matter of defense against other countries that are still developing. For example, to say that the United States is developing a biological weapon, China would say, if there would be a biological war, we would be at disadvantage. So they decided to develop a biological weapon. But I believe that it was not meant to be released at this time.
So I can sure that the coronavirus, like the SARS virus, the Ebola, and HIV, arose from the wet markers because this situation has already been presented before.
But how can you prove that it is not was not originally meant to be a biological weapon if it is already proof that it was leaked from the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
I do have information to answer your question.
So, in conclusion, I believe Esteban's theory is the most assertive.
In conclusion, I believe that my theory was the closest to reality as there is evidence about some facts that can prove that it is a biological weapon. And I believe that my theory was very close to Eric's theory, but it was not exactly the same. In the other hand, I disagree with Bolivar's and Jackie's theory to a certain extent.
In conclusion, I also think that Steven's theory is the most assertive one because he has more proofs that is true.
In conclusion, I think that Esteban's theory is the most assertive because he had more information about